Most Pick 3 lottery players will miss this workout and miss these steps. And I don't want you guys to do the same thing. All right, we're going to talk about a key digit workout. Make sure you grab your pen and paper so you can take some really good notes. I do have to make this disclaimer that I can't guarantee hits on the channel or in the membership. So I definitely need you guys to pay close attention. Practice on paper. Don't start spending money going to the stores. Make sure that you can hit those predictions on paper first so that you have an understanding of how things really work in your state. Now, I'm not going to tell you this is going to work every time, and I'm not going to tell you it's going to work for every state. Your job, if you want to find out if this key digit workout is working for your state, go back about 3 to 5 days, look at your rundowns, and see if your state are pulling hits as easy as using these key digit numbers. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We have the state of Wisconsin here. November 1st, midday, there was a hit of 692, okay? I'm using that previous hit. The next thing I need to do is I need to lock in the grid. I need to put the numbers in here. I'm going to show you how to count them out very quickly, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to add each number down the columns. So for the first column, we're going to add 3. So 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. For your 2-digit numbers, listen carefully, only use your ones place. So we're going to use the 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Only use your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. Use the 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. And 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay? So the next thing you have to do is make sure that you counted this out correctly. How do you know? The number you start with, the number 6, should be the end with the number 6. Simple, right? Very simple. Then you would add 1 all the way down the second column, 7 all the way down the third column. Once you have your grid completed, I want you to pay attention to these 2 key numbers, okay? All right, and I'm going to tell you why they're important, why you may want to look for them. And they're called key digit numbers. And the numbers we're going to work on today for this state, for this example, because there could be others, is the number 2 and its mirror number 7. Okay? What are key digits? Okay? Key digits could tell you what numbers could be hot on your grid. That's it. I get a lot of people asking me that question, Miss Floyd, what's key digit numbers anyway? And if I hear that you did this and I know that you're not paying attention to the video, I want to tell you to go right back to the video so you know what I mean by what are key digit numbers. They're just numbers that tell me that something's important on the grid. You heard of the saying, oh, lucky 7s. Okay? Well, yeah, 7s are lucky. They're very lucky. They can tell us a lot of patterns that are happening in our rundowns. But they also have their mirror number, that's the number 2. So this is why I say 7s and 2s. Please pay attention to them. They are our lucky numbers. I call them key digit numbers. That's where we get that from. Where did I learn this from? That's the next thing. I didn't. I had to learn this on my own, honeys. I had to look through state, so we could figure out why these numbers are pushing these particular patterns. It's called study. That's it. That's how I got it. Okay? So, whenever you see a 2 or its mirror number 7, I want you to pay attention, but you're going to see a lot of them. How do you know which ones you got to look for? That's going to be your key, because you're not going to see it like this on every rundown. Before we go there, I need to talk to you about mirror numbers. You heard me just say that, right? Why are 2 and 7 mirror numbers? Because they're the same number. Yeah. In lottery math, that's what they are. 2s and 7s, 7s and 2s, they can be interchanged for one another. We call them mirror numbers. There are other mirror numbers. You have your 0 that could be a 5, or 5 could be a 0. A 1 could be a 6, or a 6 could be a 1. 2 could be a 7, 7 could be a 2. 3 could be 8, 8 could be a 3. 4 could be a 9, and a 9 could be a 4. So here's the kicker. When you're using this single key digit workout, you need to find out if a 2 or 7 is either by a double or a mirrored pair. This is why I'm trying to show you what mirror numbers are, because some people in the Pick 3 community will say they're irrelevant, don't pay attention to them, and I'm telling you, you may want to think again depending on your state, okay? So Notice here, you're going to see 2s everywhere. You got a 692 here, but I'm not looking for that. You're going to see another 2 here. I'm not looking for that. I need a very specific 2 in a very specific place, 2 or the number 7. Notice here, in front of this mirror pair, remember we just talked about mirrors. 1 and 6 is the same numbers, almost like saying 211 or 266, right? But when their numbers are put together, we call them mirrors. So this is a mirrored pair. Make sure you guys know that, okay? This is your mirror pairs. Now, sometimes the keys will work with double pairs, okay? You just have to find out what your state is pulling. But right now, we're just going to talk about this. So your key numbers, start paying attention when they're in front or back of mirror pairs. They could be in different positions or doubles, okay? Like that could have been a 211 or 266. Pay attention to that stuff, okay? The key numbers have to be in a specific place, and that's where people are getting things, making it harder than it has to be. It wasn't. But I realize it's not that it's hard, and it's not that I'm not demonstrating this correctly. It's that people are not watching these videos correctly. They're eating, they're talking, they're doing everything else, and then they'll go back and say, I don't even know what key digit is. I got you. Stop doing that. I'm going to stop answering ridiculous questions. I just have to. And the reason why I have to do that, I just don't have the time to answer every comment anyway half the time. And if you're not listening to the videos, then it is what it is, right? The other one is, it's mirror 7. What you do to one part of the rundown, you do to the other, okay? So we have 2 and 7. Make sure it's in front of a mirror or a double. Okay, that's very important. That way you can start tracking to see how they're pushing out hits for your state. Now, this means that anything with the number 2 or 7 running across could be hot. Okay? This is one way to use it. It's not the only way. What does that mean? That means I'm going to look for every hit that runs across that has a 2 or a 7. So let's go down the list together. We got 692. I'm going to write that down. Why? Because it has the number 2. I'm looking for 2 or 7. I'm going to write down 216. Why? Because that's key. These are important numbers, our lucky 7s and 2s. I'm going to write down 523. Why? Because it has the number 2 or 7 in it. Okay? Then I'm not going to just stay here. I'm going to look at the mirrors, my 7s. Remember, 2s and 7s are interchangeable. And until you know what your state is mostly going with, use both. So now I'm going to look at 761. The 7 is what we're looking for. I'm going to look for other number 7s now. So I need 078. All right. I did 692, and we're looking at 147. Almost missed that one. Okay. All right. So the first thing you need to know is what key digit numbers are. They're very important numbers. They're going to tell you possibly if there's a particular pattern that you got to pay attention to. The only way you're going to know this if you start backtracking and you seeing hits relating to certain specific patterns, okay? And it's up to you to go ahead and back test that. Now, what I did, because I know through history and I know through working through the states that I need to pay attention to any number that's running across that's 2 or 7s, okay? Because I get so hot when people talk, oh, hits don't come across the grid like that. We got to do L shapes or V shapes and stuff. Okay, well, you do that, boobs. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm also telling you, sometimes we're missing easy hits because we're not, what? Paying attention. Well, guess what, Wisconsin? Guess what happened? November 1st, that evening. Hold on, quick turnaround. 741 hit. Where was it? Here. We had it what? What's the important thing? It had our key digit number of 7. Remember, we were looking for 2 or 7. Bam. Why do I know how to use this? Because this is what I use. This is how I look at a lot of the states, and this is how we come up with the strategies and predictions. I am literally telling you how simple this could be. But here's the trick. They're not going to show up every day. Matter of fact, they may not even, the numbers you think that are hot may not show up for a couple days. It's up to you to keep up with them. All right? So, steady. What are key numbers again? They just important numbers telling us that you may want to pay attention to something, but they're not the only ones. Sometimes you'll also use the numbers 0 and 5. So if you notice that this is working, but it's working with your 0s and 5s with mirrors or double pairs, pay attention to them. Okay? Pay attention to them. All right? I'm serious. People got to start getting on. We're missing simple things because we've been taught it has to be harder. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to just roll out the answers for us, but sometimes we have to use, we have to see what our state is trying to tell us. And if you don't use rundowns and you're not backtracking, meaning you're keeping a daily log of what's going on, you're going to miss this totally. If you think that you're going to use just your last draw and that's it, you're sadly mistaken. You have to know what's going on during the last few days, because sometimes the hits, it may take a couple of days for this thing to hit, but it was on there. But you gotta pay attention. All right, so that was it for our key digit workout using single keys. It's simple, it's easy. Don't mess it up. Don't make it harder. If your state is working like this, let me know, and let me know what those keys are. I would so love to hear back. That way I know you're studying, because I am. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure you hit that like right now. Subscribe so you can get the notifications when new videos are coming up, and our live streams when I happen to be out in public. Yes. And if you don't know already, you better join the hottest membership for the Pick 3 community. We're doing our thing. Make sure you join us. Only if you have some Pick 3 experience. If you don't, watch the free videos on the public channel. See if you like what you like. If you like working with me, because I'm very picky and I cannot work with everybody. I will tell you in a quickness, I'm not for you or you're not for me, and I kid you not. That's just the way it is right now. But anyways, you guys enjoy. Hit that like. I'll see y'all on the next video.